Hello and welcome back to 1982, to this amazing and special not requested video. No, this is not a requested video. This is a special video that I decided to do after I found this amazing body on this Steam workshop for this game. And basically, like, I think 90% of you guys will know what kind of car uses this body in the 1980s. If you do know what kind of car I'm talking about that used this body in the 80s, tell me in the comment section below, so I can see who really knows anything about cars. I'm sure like 90% of you guys will figure out what kind of car this is, but I want to see if this percentage, the 10% percentage, if they can figure it out or not. Maybe it's 100%. Maybe all of you guys know everything about cars. So I want to see that in the comment section below. So as you can see, this is a car that I built in 1982. As we all know, in the 1980s, well, cars are beginning to be shaped in a really cheap, rubbish, ugly way. Boxy, really slow performance, not that much power, really crappy fuel economy. Well, it was really bad, except of course some amazing cars that escaped from all of these problems that came in the 80s with the cars, because in the 80s a lot of companies started to ditch the carburetors and go with EFI or even mechanical fuel injection. Carburetors are starting to go away, and the fuel injection is starting to take all over the market and all over the automation industry. And it was really difficult time because the engines were not that much reliable, especially with the early versions of electronic fuel injection. EFI at the time was very early, and it was, I'm not gonna say really bad, but some of the cars, yes, they were really bad, not reliable, very difficult to fix. And well, it was a new technology, but hopefully in this car I managed to pull it off, because as we all know, cars in the 80s, they were not that much quick. I mean, like, basically the average sports car back then used to make like 250 horsepower, 200 horsepower, like maximum 350 horsepower, 300 horsepower. So you get the point. The range is from 200 to like 300 horsepower. That's the range of sports car, and I went over that by so much, as you will see later in the video. And as you can see, the car looks absolutely amazing, and you will see some attention to detail in this car that I never did before. So before we begin with all of the specs, yes, this video will be a little bit long, a little long video. I apologize for that in advance. And before we crack on with the specs, I would love to remind you guys, please, if you enjoy the video, hit that like button, get subscribed. If you want to share the video, you can share the video, it's okay. And if you want to request a custom car or a custom engine or any engine that the game can support, I will tell you about it in the end of the video. So let's start with the specs. We have a corrosion resisting steel panels, because using aluminium will make this car very limited, and I don't want that. I want this car to be like a mass production car with high horsepower and very low price. So as you will see later, ladder chassis for the same reason. Monocoque chassis, well, it's very it will take a really long time to be engineered and produced, and no, I don't want that. So I'm gonna go with old school ladder chassis, and it was very popular in the 80s, so it's okay. Galvanized steel, because I don't want the chassis to rust. And I mean, if I can go with corrosion resisting steel if I really want to, but unfortunately it will make the car a little bit expensive. Well, let's see by how much. Because as you can see, tooling cost, material cost, well, it would cost a lot. No, okay, so I'm gonna keep the galvanized steel. Okay, so galvanized, it's much cheaper. I don't want to make this car more expensive. So we have front longitudinal engine placement, double wishbone front suspension, and double wishbone rear suspension. Some of the manufacturers back then went with semi-trailing arms, or even leaves, or even coils, solid axle coil, but I just want to go with a comfortable, sporty supporting double wishbone suspension in the rear. So double wishbone is the correct answer here. +3 quality on the chassis and the body and the suspension designs. This is the engine that I made for this beast here. It's a 5-liter V8 engine, a 90 degrees V-shaped 8-cylinder engine made from aluminium. Aluminium back then was like, it was a new thing. Aluminium engines were very new in the 80s, and yeah, I just want to go with it because it's much light and it's better. It's light, and as we all know, lighter engine is a better engine because it will make the car much lighter than a cast iron heavy engine. Okay, so we have aluminium block, 93.0 millimeters on the bore, 92.0 millimeter on the stroke, which equals 5000 cc engine, exactly a 5-liter V8 engine. Single overhead camshaft with 4 valves per cylinder. I don't want to go with dual overhead camshaft because it will take a long time to be produced. And well, the benefits from using dual overhead camshaft, yes, the engine will get more fuel economical, more it will get more smooth, more performance, more RPM, but no, I want to keep it simple. So single overhead cam, 4 valves will do the job absolutely to perfection. Aluminium cylinder heads, cast iron crankshaft, cast connecting rods, and of course cast pistons. I want to go with regular cast instead of forged because, well, I want the engine to be cheap to make, and I want this engine to be a mass-produced engine, not a very limited engine. And using forged internals will make it it will take much time to be engineered and to be produced. So I'm going to keep it simple with a regular cast, and they are doing the job actually nicely, very nicely. Plus for quality, for the internals, we have 9.0 to 1 is the compression ratio with 67 on the cam profile, and plus 3 quality on the camshafts and everything related to them. Yes, this is a twin turbocharged V8 engine with ball bearing internals, 586 horsepower supporting intercooler, twin custom turbochargers with 40 millimeter on the compressor and 34.5 millimeters on the turbine, maxed out AR ratio, and 10 psi of boost with 0 quality. And yes, I'm using multi-point EFI fuel injection. Actually, when I started making this video and started making this car, I went with mechanical fuel injection. It was okay. Everything was cool with turbos. It ran perfectly, but I want the car to get a little bit more clean when it comes to emissions and when it comes to fuel efficiency. I want more fuel efficiency and more mileage, and yeah, that's why I went with multi-point EFI, because single point EFI is the worst option ever you can go with. It's not reliable, it's not efficient, it's just rubbish, absolute rubbish. I hate it, it's not okay, and I thank God that no one is using it these days. And let's see, even back then I'm really thankful that a lot of manufacturers stopped using it. It's just rubbish. Single throttle body, performance intake manifold, premium 95 octane fuel, and with 14.0 is the air fuel ratio, and 47 is the ignition timing, and 6000 is the official RPM limit for this engine, with +1 quality for the fuel system. Dual exhaust pipes, 2.8 inch exhaust diameter, and 3-way Cadillac converter. No first muffler, straight through second muffler, and +3 quality on the exhaust system. This is the final result: 405.4 horsepower at 6000 RPM, 414.9 pound-feet of torque at 3900 RPM. The engine is powerful, it's very torquey. Reliability, well, because it's the 80s and we are using EFI and turbos, of course, the reliability will drop a little bit. It used to be like 55, now it dropped to 49. Well, 49, I want you to know this, 49 in the 1980s, it's like 65 in 2018. Yes, that's the reliability meter here. And if you want to reach like 70, 80 reliability points in 2018, if you want to achieve those points in the 1980s, you can get this engine to 58, maybe 60. That's the maximum you can get. I mean, with the regular fuel injection or maybe regular carburetors, yes, you can reach 55, 57 points, and that's very like that's the max you can get with the 0 quality on the sliders on the right. So basically 49, I consider it very good, very good in the 1980s. 49 in 2018, no, that's rubbish. The engine will break immediately, but 49 in 1980s, that's very good. 250 kilograms, well, the engine is made from aluminium, yes, but the internals are cast, and we have twin turbos. All of this will add weight, and 250 kilograms, well, that's a decent weight for a 5-liter V8 engine with twin turbos. Well, production units, it's not bad. Engineering time, well, that's a little bit too much, I think, but it's not bad. I mean, it's really not bad, and the customer is loving it, so it's okay. Let's see what we have here. The emissions, well, the emissions, I tried really hard to get as low emissions as possible. I mean, if I went with dual overhead camshafts, yes, this will drop a lot. I mean, it will drop like to 300, but no, I don't want to go with dual overhead camshaft because it will make everything more complicated, and no. So single overhead camshaft with EFI turbos, tuned to perfection, that's the lowest it will get. With of course the quality sliders, as I set them, as you can see, 0 quality here, +1 quality here, +3 quality. I don't want to go any high with the quality, so this is as good as it will get. 57 on the smoothness, very good. The engine is responsive. 39, nearly 40. Well, it's okay. It's not bad. The engine has a sport exhaust system, so yes, it's a little bit noisy. Perfect. Let's fire it up. It looks very decent actually, and I'm sure if like the 1980s engineers and production team will dress this engine with, of course, 1980s style, I'm gonna say, because as you can see, the intake manifold and the valve covers look very like 2016, 2017 look, maybe 2018, but in the 80s I think they will dress them very different. So let's see what's what. As you can see, these are the cast internals. They look very normal, but the engine sounds absolutely amazing. The engine is making at idle 183 pound-feet of torque at 900 RPM, which is very good. The engine sound absolutely amazing. It's very powerful, it's very torquey. Well, 400 horsepower in the 1980s, I think this is a very huge number. And with EFI and turbos and everything else, aluminium block, aluminium cylinder heads, 4 valves per cylinder, well, this engine is pretty much perfect, I think. So let's move on. As you can see, this is the body that I found on the Steam Workshop. Basically, there is a convertible version and 2 coupe versions of it. Well, as I mentioned before, car enthusiasts will know this engine immediately, and I'm sure that a lot of you guys will know the engine, but I want to see, like, really who knows the engine, not the engine, sorry, who knows the car, who knows really what kind of car is this. I mean, it's very obvious, it's very obvious, but I want to know how many of you guys know what kind of car is this. Alright, so we have +1 quality on the body and +1 quality on the fixtures, and this is the color that I have chosen, not this regular red, no, this red, rich red as I called it. It looks very decent and very factory looking red. The same color also goes for the brake calipers, as you can see. Alright, so let's move on. we have, so the fixtures, basically the fixtures, I went a little, I'm not gonna say mad, no, I paid a little attention to details this time. So we have these twin headlights, as you can see, they look absolutely amazing, like in 1980s style, like all the way. The front logo, of course, we have the front license plate holder, the front grille, the fog lights, as you can see. We have on the side, we have an indicator, we have a V8 logo, a regular V and a small 8 in it. It looks absolutely amazing. And of course we have the twin cam EFI badge here on the side. Yes, as you can see, we have these side mirrors, as you can see, they look absolutely 80s style. The door handles, fuel filler cap, and as you can see, this is the end or the rear of the car. We have the these tail lights, they look absolutely amazing. The rear logo, and of course the rear license plate holder, and yes, the car name, Stormer. This is the Stormer, my friends, the Stormer 5.0 turbo. Yes, we have a turbo badge, 5.0 badge, absolutely amazing. We have of course the twin exhaust pipes, and of course the rear antenna for the radio, and of course these 1980s rims, because they look very period correct, I'm sure of that. And absolutely the cars look absolutely beautiful, very cool, and very 80s style. Let's move on. As you can see, the car uses a longitudinal rear-wheel drive. As you can see, we have manual gearbox. I mean, the customers, if I want customers to love this car, to really absolutely love it, to love this car, they want to go with automatic gearbox. But no, I want to keep it quickly off the line, and of course to handle and to not to handle, the gearbox will not affect handling, but I want the car to go around the test track as quickly as possible, and manual gearbox will manage that. Very cool, very good. And of course it will give the car more fuel mileage, because with manual you can control the shifts manually and decide when to shift and how really when to shift. It's managed by the driver, and that will give the car more fuel mileage. Unlike automatic gearbox, well, as you can see, in advanced automatic, the computer will decide that. In regular automatic, the valves and the gearbox itself mechanically will decide when to shift, and all of these will not give that much fuel economy. But with manual, well, it's perfection. And of course it's more high performance this way, it's more drivable, and of course it's more sporty, it's more enjoyable for car enthusiasts. We have 5 speeds for the gearbox, or 5 gears. The final drive, or the top speed, is 297.6 kilometers per hour is the gearbox top speed, with 27 on the spacing. This is by far the most perfect spacing for this car. Like, I've tried everything. I tried high gearing, low gearing, and tried the in between. I tried every possible stage, and 27, it's the perfect for this car. It will give you 3.9% of fuel wheel spin, 5.3 seconds 0 to 100, and it will give the best sportiness value, drivability values, and of course comfortable value and fuel economy. It's perfection. It will give a balance to all of these values. We have geared limited slip differential. Yes, we have a geared limited slip differential in the 1982, which is very advanced back then, and it will give the car really good advance in acceleration, in cornering, in basically everything. A zero quality on the gearbox and differential. We have a radial tires, medium compound, 230 front and rear. We have 10 offset front and rear, 15-inch rims, 622 is the tire diameter. And yes, 50-inch rims, I know it's very little when they are very small when it comes to 2018 standards, but when it comes to 1980 standards, well, this 50-inch was considered very big back then. Alloy rims were considered very advanced. I mean, I really want to go with magnesium, but magnesium will cost a lot, and I don't want to go with that. I mean, steel rims will cost half of the alloys, but magnesium, well, that's a different story. It will cost more than double for the alloys, and I don't want that. So alloys perfection, zero quality on the tires. Ventilated front brakes, as you can see, 3 pistons, 300mm on the front. Ventilated rear discs with 2 pistons, 260mm and 66 on the pad type. and of course 68% of brake power or brake pace goes to the front, 32% goes to the rear with zero quality. Fully clad under tray for the aerodynamics, and of course this is very advanced of course back then. And we have 55 on the engine cooling, 100 on the brake cooling, and of course zero quality here. 2 seats, sport interior, yes, sport. I mean, the customers, they want premium, but sport is the obvious option. It's really similar to premium, but it's much lighter, and it's very good. It's lighter than regular premium, and it's still a premium interior, so it's the best option to go with. Premium 8-track. Yes, we have an 8-track entertainment system. There is basic 8-track, standard 8-track, and premium 8-track, and phonograph, which is I think really weird because this is very classic. Luxury 8-track, and of course luxury cassette. Wow, how classic is that? If you want to know what comes in the premium 8-track entertainment system, you can pause the video and read it. Actually, you don't need to pause the video. It's this package, high-end car entertainment system, 1970s. So we have 4 high-quality speakers. We have an AM/FM radio, an 8-track player. That's very good. Zero quality on the interior. We have variable hydraulics, power steering, +3 quality, advanced 80s safety. This car is very safe, which is good. Zero quality on the safety equipment. We have progressive springs, gas monotubes, dampers, and of course passive sway bars with a very custom suspension setup. We have a negative 0.8 degrees of camber in the front, negative 1.7 degrees of camber in the rear. Spring stiffness is, the spring stiffness is 3.20 in the front, 3.20 in the rear. Damper stiffness is 2.6 in the front, 2.20 in the rear. Sway bar thickness is 3,200 front, 3,000 in the rear, and the ride height is 135.2 millimeters. Very good. Zero quality on the suspension, and this is the final result. 287 kilometers per hour is the car top speed, which is very high in the 1980s. Very quick, and 0 to 100 in 5.3 seconds. 80 to 120 in 2.38 seconds. Very good, very quickly actually. Quarter mile in 13.39, which is very quick actually. It's not bad when you I mean, as a stock 400 horsepower 1982 car, sport car, 13 seconds. That's very cool actually. We can achieve 1G in 20 meters radius cornering, as you can see, 1G, and in 200 meters radius cornering also we can achieve 1.02G. That's very good. Roll angle 4.2 degrees, also very cool. No brake fading, stopping distance is very good. And yes, we have active downforce actually, 32 kilograms on the front, 29.4 kilograms on the rear, and the car weighs 1,410 kilograms, which is very decent actually. It's not that heavy, it's not that light, it's in between. Power weight distribution, 56% of the front, 43.4% goes to the rear, not bad. Power to weight ratio, also not bad. And of course this is not a towing machine, so 0 kilograms, no, this is a towing car, and you can put 746.9 kilograms of cargo, people, whatever inside the car. It can go very normal. As you can see, the car can do 11.6 miles per gallon. Well, this is not a Toyota Prius, no, this is a thirsty twin turbo 5-liter V8 engine, and 11.6 miles per gallon was considered in the 80s very good, not bad at all. Emissions are 804. Well, the engine's not very toxic, but well, in the 1980s with the 80s technologies, the 80s technology back then, 804, I consider it, with the EFI, I consider it very good. It's not bad. And let's see what we have here. The car it's drivable, it's sporty. Well, it's a sport car with a sporty suspension, so it's not really that much comfortable. Well, it's very prestigious actually, and it's very safe. Environmental resistance, not bad. The car has 64 points, and as I mentioned before, 64 points in the 80s. This is a very good value actually. The car is very reliable, it's practical, well, it's practical for two people, and it has some utility points because the car has a big boot or a big trunk. It's pretty much perfect, I think. Service cost $1,784 a year, I think. Well, that's not bad. Engineering time also not bad, but production units, the car takes a little while to be produced. Well, yeah, it takes a little while. So as you can see, the car will cost you, with 10% margin to the company, $22,848. That's cheap. That's very cheap. And actually, I wasn't aiming for the hypermarket or the supermarket, not the supermarket where you buy groceries. No, the supermarket or the convertible store. No, I'm not aiming for any of these. I was aiming only for muscle premium, and suddenly that changed into hyper because hyper people, they loved it. So as you can see, the muscle premium market, the car is very popular. People are liking it so much. In the sport market, they are liking it so much. In the hyper market, they are loving it. Also in the super market, yes, they are loving it. Convertible, although it's not a convertible, they're loving it. Light sport premium, well, it's not bad. Muscle, well, it's too much expensive for regular muscle, but muscle premium, it's pretty much perfect. Absolutely amazing car. I'm really happy with the end result. It's really looking amazing. So now it's the time to go to the test track and see what's what. As you can see, I already ran this car around the automation test track and it did 2 minutes 20.58. Let's run it again and see if this number will change or not. So the car did 2 minutes 20.59. Like really that didn't change. That didn't change at all, I think. All right, but it's very quickly actually reached a decent top speed. Not top speed. Reach a decent speed here. That was very awesome actually to see a 1980s car reach this kind of speed here. That was very amazing. Now let's move to the airfield, as they call it in automation game. Let's move to it and run the car and see what we'll do here. I'm really confident that this beast will do an absolute amazing job here, because the car can handle very good. The car can accelerate very good and can brake perfectly. and I think that all of this will be absolutely good. All right, so let's see what's what. Wow, that was awesome actually. 1 minute 24.75. Wow, that's very quick. I mean, really, I think this time it's not really a bad time. I mean, this 1982 muscle premium or sports car, really, I think I'm sure that this muscle car did beat some modern cars with this time around the automation, or not the automation, around the airfield test track as they call it. So yeah, I'm sure about this is a very good time, and I'm sure that we have beaten some modern cars with this time. So if you know what kind of modern cars that this amazing 1982 beast has beaten, tell me in the comment section if you don't mind that, of course. So as you can see, the car looks absolutely classic and retro 1982 style. Basically everything is square, the tail lights, the headlights, basically everything, and badges and logos all over the car, as you can see here on the rear. The car looks very amazing and very stylish, and I'm really happy with the end result. So please, if you enjoyed the video, hit that like button, get subscribed if you are new to the channel, and watch all my previous videos, because I promise you will like them all. I made a lot of cars, and basically a lot, and I mean a lot of engines. And if you want to request a custom engine or a custom car, or even a replica of a current engine, if automation game can support it, I would love to do it as soon as possible. But of course you have to forgive me, because sometimes I get really busy and I don't really have that much time to record, and yeah. So if I don't make your video, don't be upset, just to remind me with it gently, and don't chop my head off when you remind me with your video. And if you want to request a video, or yes, if you want to request a video, you can add my Snapchat. It's Lord Bas94, Lord BAS94. You can add me, so I can add you on the channel group over there on Snapchat, so you can request a video over there, or chat with all of the fans, or of course discuss anything, well, basically cars. We discuss only cars, of course. So thank you so much guys for watching. Please, if you enjoyed the video, as I mentioned before, hit that like button, get subscribed, you know the drill, and hit that notification bell button so you can get a notification when I release a new video. And of course, if you want to support the channel, I would really appreciate that. You can go to my Patreon page. I will put the link in the description below. Just press the link. You can support the channel over there. You can put your request over there. It's okay with me. And so thank you so much for watching. I'm gonna see you very soon with more awesome videos like this one, and even more awesome than this video. And I really hope that you enjoyed this one. So thank you so much for watching. I'm gonna see you very soon, and goodbye for now, my friends.